This week on My Classic Car. We'll go cruising at the Eastlake Car Cruise in Northern Ohio. Sam and Dennis discuss collectible diecast models. And we'll hang with Jay Leno as he shows off his wild tank car hot rod.
Hi, this is Dennis Gage. Thanks for tuning in to My Classic Car, home of the certified car nut. Weekly cruisings have become really popular, and in the Cleveland area, you've got several to pick from just about every night of the week. Well, we're at Eastlake, Ohio, on the Boulevard of 500 Flags for their weekly gathering. This has been called one of the prettiest cruise-ins in Ohio, and every Saturday, along about 5 p.m., hundreds of cars converge upon this boulevard to share in the camaraderie of the car hobby. It's a beautiful thing. Joining me now to fill us in on how this all got started is Don Moyer. Don, how you doing?
How do you do? Glad to have you here.
Great to be here. Boy, what a nice place.
It is gorgeous, and it's all controlled by the mayor, and he does a fantastic job. We had a new city hall put up in '94, and a little after that, he comes up to me and he says, gee, he says, I got this beautiful park and nobody wants to come down. He says, get a car cruise in here. We did, and it's been fantastic ever since.
So you guys really were onto something there.
We got lucky, and it turned out to be fantastic.
Now, it is a weekly deal.
Yes, it is.
And it runs from when to when in the year?
Around May 15th, we have the blessing of the cars. We have a priest come down and sprinkle a little bit of good stuff. And then we have the Halloween at the end. And that's when the mayor brings about 1,000 pounds of candy, hands it out to the mothers, and they put it on TV trays and hand it out to about 4,000 kids.
Oh, that is great. So, on a weekly basis, how many cars do you draw?
Between 400 and 800, depending on what you're here. We'll be over 1,000 tonight.
So word got out. Are they coming from?
It had something to do
that
with
mustache thing, right? Yeah.
I think so.
So, where are people coming from for tonight? Do you think?
We have West Virginia, we have
gosh.
Pennsylvania, we have Indiana, we have Michigan. We have a big feeling of this area right now.
It's a wonderful way to use this area, and
Yes.
it really is scenic.
Yeah, you've got 500 American flags, you've got the 9/11 Memorial, and this is really, people like to come and see this. If you notice, the names are on the flags.
Well, you do have some wonderful stuff going on here. I've seen some great cars, great setting. I want to get around and look at some of this stuff.
Very good.
What do you say we get around?
I think so.
All right.
Coming up, Sam and Dennis give us the details on diecast models. And we'll see some awesome cars at the Eastlake Car Cruise. My Classic Car is brought to you by Grundy Worldwide Collector Car Insurance.
You know, Bud, every time I come over, you got more and more of these nice toys.
And I love toys, Sam. And these are diecast collectibles. They're very hot these days. These are all GMP models, and they are the best of the best.
They're beautiful, no doubt.
Stunning. And what do you think of the Grand National?
Well, is this another collection for the garage here? That's beautiful.
It is. I've always wanted one of these. I tell you, they're fast, and the guys that own these are just the most passionate owners out there. They're almost rabid.
Well, they are. You know, these cars were only made for a few years. It's a GM G-body, and I'll tell you, this thing got a 3.8 V6, but it's turbocharged, it's intercooled, got a transmission with a shift kit in it. They were really rocket ships.
They were really fast. And the guys that own them love them. GMP's built a model with just as much detail as the original.
This thing here is absolutely exquisite. You can see under the hood, GMP's got all the detail in the turbocharged 3.8 V6, doors open, trunk open, you turn around, look inside, even the keys dangling in the ignition.
You gotta love it. If you got a Grand National, you gotta have a garage take care of it.
Yeah, look at this. You got an asymmetrical lift with the lift legs that work. You got oxyacetylene torch, battery charger, toolbox.
Stick welder, compressor, even an air gun here. Right down to the Turbo 6 Grand National logo on the posts.
Well, I'll tell you, this is beautiful. It takes a lot of work to achieve that level of detail.
You bet it does. So we went down to Winder, Georgia to find out just how GMP does all this.
Once GMP has decided on a popular image, the car is located and the process of exhaustive documentation is initiated. This involves hours of measuring, 300 to 400 photographs and sketches. GMP even records the textures of parts. After data collection is complete, a handmade body shape model, or body buck, is made, which is roughly 1/12 scale. Next is the pattern stage, which has all the working features of the model and will be used in making the steel tool. It's important to note that every part of this model is handmade. Fit and size of all parts are checked and double-checked. Next comes the steel tooling, which ultimately will be the mold for thousands of models. Then comes the first shot, or first run of the model to test the tooling. At this point, the model is assembled and all elements are checked again. Once refinements are made, a second shot is run to check textures and colors. Upon final approval, the model is now ready to be put into production, carefully assembled and shipped.
The process takes 10 to 12 months typically, some longer if it's a higher part count. And eventually we bring to the market a beautiful scale replica of whatever that model is we're working on. Everything we do historically has been limited, serialized, very high quality, very accurate reproductions of all of the different things that you see here at GMP.
What'd I tell you, Sam? The best of the best.
The way you always go, bud.
But of course.
Yeah, look at this car. Another historically significant car. Dale Earnhardt, this is his 24-hour car, and the detail with the plumbing and stuff, unbelievable.
Phenomenal. Of course, your high-performance Ford flathead. This is the legendary Pearson Brothers 2D Coupe. Look at the detail on the engine, right down to the Edelbrock heads.
Look at this, Don Prudhomme, the Snake. His front engine dragster with a Hemi in it. Got a Hemi-powered primer coupe with a blower on it.
But my favorite car in all the world, the GT40 that took the checkered flag at Le Mans '66. Look at the engine compartment in this baby.
Look at the detail, unbelievable. Even you look down the carburetor, you can see the boosters in there and the Venturis, and even the headers are discolored like it just came off the track.
Fine products. GMP makes really the best detail stuff out there. Now, some of it's down $9.99, but these bigger models can run you several $100. So these are for the serious collector.
Right, not the kind of stuff like this that you would buy and hand to the grandkid to run across the floor.
I don't think so, Sam. So if you want to learn about diecast collectibles or anything else we talked about today, log on to myclassiccar.com.
And for the unique automotive tools and supplies, log on to eastwoodcompany.com. Okay, I want to open the doors.
Wait a minute, Sam. Let's put on the official GT40 Mark II handling gloves. I don't want your...
Eastwood.com. Unique tools, coatings, supplies, and solutions for all your restoration needs. Next, let's go cruising at the Eastlake Car Cruise.
The Eastlake Car Cruise in Northern Ohio is visually striking and unique, but also very representative of America's love affair with the automobile and the pastime of proudly showing them off. This is Americana. Cookouts, family, friends, and plenty of cool cars. Oh, John, what a beautiful studio. You know I'm a studio guy.
I know you're a studio guy.
Well, the 53 maybe is my favorite of all studios. This is just beautiful what you've done to this car.
Thank you very much.
Now, what all have you done? I mean, I see a chop going on here.
First, so we leaned the windshield back, we cut the cowl down, and we dropped it about 3 inches in the front, and then in the back, I cut the rear window completely loose and swiveled it forward, which dropped this point to the top about 1.5 inches, and then of course we had a lot of work to do to make it fit.
It looks great. And then you're coming back, you're sprouting fins. And
sprouting fins.
Is this Packard?
These are 56. They're custom 56 Chevy lenses that used to be made by the Lee Company. They're no longer made. The fins are off of a guys are going to shoot me, a Hemi 57 Chrysler convertible that was rotten to the belt line.
But the fins were okay.
But the fins were okay.
Right. And then the interior is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, wow. I love the dash. Studebaker S on the console, Studebaker on the dash. Oh, keep it true. And a full roll cage?
Full NHRA certified down to 9.99 seconds because it's got a pretty healthy engine in it. It's a 71 Chevy tall deck truck block.
Oh, wow.
Which has been bored and stroked to 491, has Dart 320 heads, stainless valves, a 4340 stroker crank, Wiseco pistons, all the good stuff, 1,000 CFM Barry Grant carburetor, and should make about 650 horsepower to about 7,000.
It's a beautiful car, John.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. I know you're a studio guy.
I'm a studio guy. To give us more background on Eastlake Cruise, we caught up with the mayor of Eastlake, Dan DiLiberto.
Well, it's actually one of the other cities that decided not to have the car cruises anymore, and we had a big empty parking lot with 500 American flags, and what a better setting that you could have than American cars and beautiful American flags. And it's really taken off, and it's every Saturday now from second week in May through Halloween.
That's amazing, and it's been running since what, 98 or?
I think it is 98, but the time is, it's been so much fun. I don't even know how long it's been. It's just been a great time. Great people, having fun, good entertainment here, cheap food, good cars, and people bringing their families, and that's what it's all about.
There were some astounding cars at the Eastlake Car Cruise, like Bob Ashley's flawless 1954 Buick Skylark. Or how about Jeff Gazer's slamming 64 Impala with its trunk full of sound? And the great cars just kept showing up, like this little devil. Bruce, this is one bad retro rod. I feel like I'm back in the 50s.
Yeah, I feel like I'm there too.
So I mean, you built this, right?
Yeah, I built it except for the body. It was chopped 5 inches by the guy that I used, and he built the frame, Z'd it, and channeled it for 9 inches. And I did everything else.
What possessed you to, take it back to this era of rod building?
Well, when I was a kid growing up, I remember seeing them running around the town, and I decided I wanted to have one when I grew up and got older after my kids were growing up, and I got it.
Yeah, you just don't see anything this wild.
Not too many.
No, it's so cool. And what was it to begin
It was
with?
a 1934 two-door sedan.
Wow. Well, you've done it all. You got the pinstriping, you got the wide whites, I think is almost what caught my eye. And the interior is very 50s also. You got your skulls.
And the bones are on the turn signal knobs and the tilt knob.
That's actual bone?
Actual bone we found in Freeport, Maine.
The Maltese cross.
Maltese crosses.
Rear view mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. What are you running for an engine?
Small block Chevy, 350 horse, 11-to-1 compression, 6 deuces.
How does it drive?
Handles like a new car.
It's back in time. This is great, man.
I really like it.
You've done a great job.
Came out like I wanted it.
Well, I can tell. I love it.
Still ahead, we go hot rodding in Jay Leno's tank car.
When I head out to Jay's place, I never know what little surprises he has in store for me. And today proved to be no exception. As a matter of fact, this car might be the wildest thing yet on 4 wheels.
This is an M47 patent tank engine. This came out of a patent tank Korean War vintage.
Everybody should have one of those.
Everybody should have one of these. It's air-cooled. That's the nice thing I like about it. It's 1,800 cubic inch. These are cam-driven fans.
It directs the flow around.
It sucks the air up, so it flows in and around all the cylinders. But look at the machine work on these. I mean, these cost the American government $110,000 a piece in 1953.
So 12 cylinders, how many cubic inch?
1,800 cubic inch, Hemi head, overhead cam. So if you're going to go to a Mopar meet and you want a Hemi, this is the engine.
This is the one, and then made it to the mother of all torque lights.
That's right.
But why is this one all in pieces?
Well, this one seized, unfortunately. An oil line broke, and I lost 17 gallons of oil in about 13 seconds, and then it just locked up, and it's too much metal.
You're out cruising in your tank, or?
No, not my tank. This actually goes in my hot rod.
You have a tank powered hot rod.
Let's take a look.
Let's do. Jay, the mother of all hot rods.
Yeah, it's a kind of a funny. It's a little on the big side.
Yeah, a little, you don't even realize the scale of this thing till you get up to it. It's huge.
Yeah, it's a 190-inch wheelbase, which you figure Corvette is what, 98? So that's
it's like 20 feet long.
Yes, yeah, easy.
My gosh. Well, okay, so take me through it. What possessed you to build this thing?
Okay, well, I didn't build it. A friend of mine, the Blastoline brothers, a guy named Randy Grubb and Mike Leeds, they designed the car. They built it as a show car. It wasn't really a street car. And I got it from them, and then we kind of had to tear into it and do what we had to do to make it street legal. Which
it is legal?
Yeah, and for, getting brakes in the back, vacuum tanks for the brakes, power boosters, all that stuff. Reinforce those springs. Had to reinforce the chassis because it had so much torque. It was literally twisting itself apart.
Let's take it from the top. What's the
Okay.
front end? I mean, it's huge.
And the front end is that's just GMC truck axle. I believe that's a 7000 series. And all we did was, it was nickel plated, just nickel plated it to give it that kind of classic look. Yeah, I like the nickel better than chrome. It looks richer. It's a little duller. It isn't quite that, that shine. It goes nice with the aluminum body.
Now that's the other thing. It's an all aluminum body, and it looks like it was hand hammered.
Yeah. Randy is an artist. He did this. It's just bang, 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 bang. He did a nice job.
A lot of work.
I mean, I like seeing the welds. You see
Yeah.
the welds in here and along the way and down the center. I mean, the little imperfections are sort of what gives it a patina.
So it's here, sporting the Chrysler badges.
Right,
Is it
right.
pretty much the stock tank engine?
This is the stock tank engine. It's 990 horse with about 1,600 foot-pounds of torque. So there's not much you can do to these. You know.
How about the carb setup? Is that? I mean, these are huge too.
Those are giant Stromberg carburetors. The fun thing about it is the jets are the size of Indian arrowheads. You know, so if you drop one, it goes clang. Oh, and you can pick it up.
Now, how about structurally? Like you say, this was a show car. Didn't even have rear brakes. Did
Yeah.
you have to? What all beefing did you have to do to make it work?
Well, we found out the first time we hit the gas that the chassis kind of went into the pretzel making mold. So we added those big struts on the side just to kind of reinforce it.
Kind of the Brooklyn Bridge effect.
Yeah,
there?
little reinforcing underneath. It currently has a Greyhound bus Allison transmission, and Allison makes a terrific new 6-speed with a 50% overdrive. So I'm going to put that in here too, and hopefully in hopes of getting another maybe half a mile per gallon.
And then speaking of that, that must be the tank there, Shelby Cobra
Right,
gas
got gas tank. That holds 35 gallons. That'll get you a good 80 miles before you have to fill that baby up again. Yes, sirree, Bob.
As long as you're being responsible,
That's
right?
the beauty, yeah. But it runs on regular gas, so you don't have to put premium in. That's the beauty of it.
Pump gas, huh?
Pump gas, yeah.
Pump gas on the tank engine. And what's the rear end in it?
The rear end is Rockwell. That's, well, look at it. You're not going to break that thing. That's a nice thing. You can do burnouts all day long. You're not going to break that rear end.
And then can you turn the tires? I guess even at 10,000 pounds?
Oh, sure, you can.
1,000 horsepower will
Yeah,
do it.
you can spin the tires, no problem, no problem.
So this engine was originally pushing a 50,000 pound
Yeah,
tank?
50,000 pound tank.
So this
now
is a
it's
walk in the
pushing a
park.
9,500 pound car. So that's like putting a big block Chevy in a Mini Cooper.
I love it. I love it. And it's street legal?
Yes.
And it runs.
Depends what street you're on, but yes.
Well, what do you say we take it out?
Let's take it for a spin.
All right.
Stay close. Jay and Dennis go out on a mission in the tank car. Brought to you by Grundy Worldwide Collector Car Insurance. And by U-Coat It, the official floor coating of Eastwood Garage.
Welcome back to My Classic Car and more of Jay Leno's tank car.
Well, you ready to go for a ride?
Oh, yeah.
All right, just
up and
put
over,
your foot
huh?
in there. Yeah,
All
get
right.
it.
Here goes. Oh, my gosh.
Release the giant handbrake.
I'm going to go tank mode here this time. How do you like that? Yeah, you need more leg room in here, Jay.
What you have here is you got magnetos. Then you have your booster. This gives it a little extra boost to you.
Come on, baby. It looks like a cartoon or something.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Sorry, I pull up lights and tell people, think I have sexual problem? That warm breeze.
It is. Kind of dries your eyes out a little
Kind of hot today. Seemed cool when we left the garage.
Well, this aluminum beast motoring down the Golden State Freeway was quite a spectacle. But it almost seems like people are getting used to seeing Jay in his unusual vehicles. Jay was kind enough to let me take over the wheel of this 10,000-pound hot rod. You could feel the torque of this massive overhead cam Hemi tank engine when you press down the gas pedal. The next thing you noticed was the substantial amount of hot air that blows back into your face from the engine. And talk about filling up a lane, this baby was wide. I reluctantly gave the wheel back to Jay as we turned the tank car toward home base. What a trip, Jay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Tanks. Get it? Tanks. Arr, arr.
Oh, it's very good. Yeah, it's yeah. Stick to the cars.
Great. And not too bad on the mustache this time.
No.
What a great way to spend a Saturday night. And while this one's drawn to a close, you can be certain there'll be another gathering next week here on the Boulevard of 500 Flags in Eastlake. You know, cruisins are a lot of fun and they're going on everywhere. check some of them out in your area. And if you're ever in Cleveland on a Saturday night, you don't want to miss this one.
Next week, we'll join Ford's 100th anniversary celebration in Dearborn, Michigan. Sam and I chat about gauge options for your Classic, and we'll take a look at a beautifully restored 1970 Superbird.
So until our next meeting, remember, honor the timeless classics. I'm Dennis Gage. Happy motoring. So what do you say? Once around the park? Yeah?